It's another week, and that means another batch of new PlayStation 4 games. We've got quite a few games coming out tomorrow specifically. I wouldn't say any of these games are necessarily marquee blockbusters, however, some rather interesting titles and a couple of games you should definitely have on your radar. Even if you're not buying them right away, maybe add them to your wish list, and down the line when they do go on sale, it would be a better buy for you then. Whatever the case may be, we've got 7 games to go over, so let's get right into this. Let's kick things off with a pretty cool new cooperative multiplayer title, and that is Zombie Army Dead War 4. Hitler's hordes are back for more in this spine-chilling shooter from the makers of Sniper Elite 4, abominable occult enemies, epic weapons, and a harrowing new campaign for 1 to 4 players await in 1940s Europe as you fight to save humankind from undead Armageddon. It's got a shocking new campaign. The Resistance have defeated Zombie Hitler and cast him into hell, but the dead rise once again with greater hunger than before. Continue the alternate history of Zombie Army trilogy in huge new levels and uncover a sinister plan that takes the Survivor Brigade across Italy and beyond. Fight the forces of darkness in corpse-riddled canals, survive a zombie zoo, and journey to dark, inexplicable places no one has ever been before, and live to tell the tale. You've got award-winning gunplay, experience the genre-defining ballistics rebellion made famous in the Sniper Elite series, and put it to good use against the shambling hordes of the damned. Now this, I'm sure, is gonna be a fun and quality cooperative multiplayer title. Seems to have a decent bit of content. I just think the $49.99 price point might be a little bit high for a lot of people to stomach. Had this been $29.99 or even $39.99, I think a lot more people would be interested in it. I mean, look at a game like World War Z. That came out at, I believe, $39.99, and that ended up doing really, really well. So Zombie Army Dead War 4, I think that would have done pretty well in that sense as well. But nonetheless, definitely a game to keep on your radar, and I would say once it's down to maybe $40, $35, it might really be worth a pickup then. Zombie Army 4 Dead War is due out tomorrow. Next up, we have a rather interesting tactics-based RPG, and that is Ash of God's Redemption. This released on PC all the way back in March of 2018, and it definitely gives me vibes of a game like Banner Saga given its visual style, but Ash of God's Redemption is a turn-based RPG that combines tactical combat, CCG elements, and a constantly evolving story in which no one is safe from death, including the main characters. Ash of Gods is the story of 3 separate protagonists rising in response to centuries-old menace, once thought to be mere folklore. Captain Thor Burnett, the bodyguard Lofang, the scribe Hopper Rowley, and many others do not yet know that the Reapers have returned and intend to drown the world in blood so that they may awaken the sleeping gods. Ash of Gods' storyline is constantly evolving in response to players' choice, sometimes even resulting in death, but the death of a character is not game over. Instead, the story moves forward with the death of that character and previous choices continuing to impact future events. Combat in Ash of Gods is a blend of both traditional turn-based strategy and CCG gameplay. While individual tactics will depend upon the skills and classes of your characters, you will unlock and accumulate cards that have the power to unleash powerful abilities, sometimes altering the course of an entire battle. Ash of Gods Redemption did release at $24.99 on PC, so hopefully it comes out on the same price point over on consoles, but it will be out tomorrow for PlayStation 4. Speaking of turn-based RPGs, we've got another one dropping tomorrow, and that is the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. In the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, you will lead a fledgling resistance of Gelfling against their oppressive overlords, the Skektics, across more than 50 unique turn-based tactics battles. The game is coming at a budget price point of $19.99, so do expect content at that level, full of mystical creatures from faraway lands. Experience an expansive fantasy story through the vibrant world of Thrall, where innocent Gelfling lives are consumed for their essence by the nefarious. Unite the Gelfling tribes and drive the rebellion to success or defeat. You've got strategic tactical battles, decades of developer experience here. Building strategy games brings multi-layered tactical role-playing game. Combat units can be customized for specific things with unique gear and varied abilities across an expansive job system. Use ghillie, planning, and cunning to overcome superior foes. The clans of Thra is full of variety of Gelfling homesteads and unpredictable environments, from arid deserts to lush forests. Each is dangerous as they are wondrous. Brave the wild lands of the Gelfling clans to unite them and obtain unique strategic benefits. The Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics is due out tomorrow, again at a budget $19.99 price point. If you want more of a charming RPG, I think this is one that will be up your alley, but maybe even with this, you want to wait for a sub $10 price point, I'll leave that decision making up to you guys, but the game will be out tomorrow. Alright, next up, here's a game that I've been talking a little bit more about as it's been announced for PlayStation 4, and that is 7th Sector. This came out all the way back in March of 2019 on PC. It's a very interesting Cyberpunk game. No, it's not going to be on the level of a Cyberpunk 2077, however, it is a pretty interesting game in its own right. It notes, welcome to the 7th Sector, set in a mysterious cyberpunk world. Immerse yourself on this intricate path, solving different puzzles, facing its dangers, and collecting scattered information to discover the story of this world. With Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed, if you want your Cyberpunk game fix, I do think this is going to be a pretty good option. If you want a game that also has a little bit of mystery, intrigue, that's definitely going to be here as well. It's got a pretty cool art style and notes varied and unique puzzles, control several characters, an immersive soundtrack and branching system of 4 different endings, was received pretty well over on PC with 313 Steam user reviews at 80% positive, so I would say that's pretty good. Released at $12.99, hopefully we get a similar price point on PS4, and 7th Sector will be out tomorrow. Next up, here's a rather interesting game that has gotten a very little attention, and that is 0000 Plus. With 100 levels that will either make or break players, 0000 is an unforgiving 1-bit lo-fi platformer that will challenge players while pleasing their ears with a spectacular soundtrack for players to groove to. It's definitely got a very old school look. And as I noted, 100 challenging levels, but if that 100 challenging levels isn't enough for you, thanks to a level editor mode, there are even more levels for players to play as. They will be able to create their own challenging levels or download and play challenging levels designed by someone else, which means even if you complete the main campaign, there will still be levels to play long after the game's release. Again, a fast-paced, difficult, but fair gaming experience, 100 levels, a multiplayer feature called Race Mode where players can go head-to-head against a friend to see who is the true master of the 1-bit platformer genre, a level editor mode that allows players to create and share their own levels as well as download those made by others, cross-platform sharing, online leaderboards, randomly selected levels that trigger after every death and level completion, lo-fi graphics complemented with an awesome electronic music soundtrack by Levy Bond. The game will be out tomorrow, and if you're into more, action-based challenging platformers, I think 000 Plus is going to be a game that you will enjoy depending on its price point, which we don't know about at this point. I think that could really be a difference maker, but whatever the case may be, the game is out tomorrow and it looks rather interesting to me. Alright, lastly, with the final 2 games, we do have 2 horror titles coming tomorrow. First up, we have Dawn of Fear, which is a PlayStation 4 exclusive horror release, and it notes explore, solve puzzles, and manage your inventory to survive. You play as Alex, a young man who sings to draw and always carries his notebook, decides to go to study fine arts away from home. The family lawyer receives a call from Brian telling him that his stepmother has taken her own life. As the only living family member, he goes to the family home to fix the papers and bury his stepmother. Once at home, you will discover the necromancy studies that were being done there, explore, solve puzzles, and manage your inventory to survive. Dawn of Fear tells the story of Alex, a young man with a past marked by tragedy. His mother died when she gave birth to him. His father carries on with his life and marries again. After some time, Max is born and becomes Alex's stepbrother. One day, returning from Max's training, they suffer a car accident. Alex, Max, and their father were traveling in the car, and only Alex survived the accident. After a time of mourning, Alex manages to rebuild his life, but his stepmother does not and ends up in a psychiatric hospital. 3 years later, he receives a letter saying that his stepmother has died and decides to return to the family home to pick things up, and obviously at this point things go awry and the horror really ensues. It definitely has an interesting art style, might be a little bit off-putting to some people, but I think it works for the tone that the game is going for. A lot of mystery here and definitely invokes that element of horror as well. Dawn of Fear will be out tomorrow. And lastly, we have Nerved, another horror title coming tomorrow, and this is another one that definitely invokes that element of horror. It notes an immersive atmospheric environment, large forest area with lots of houses and interior locations as well, chilling audio cues and music to boost the spooky mood, items to collect and light puzzle solving. Use your map to navigate through this dense forest while avoiding 3 different types of enemies who will stalk you with their advanced navigational skills, professional voice narration, macabre and horrific story details told via environmental storytelling instead of cutscenes, and observe gradually a fragmented story to uncover the truth about this mysterious forest. I know a lot of horror games are coming out, and you really have to pick and choose which ones, but it's just great to see horror being a genre that is so in right now. Even though these are two smaller releases, these are games that I don't think a few years ago they would have been even getting any attention. Wanted to bring some light to them, as Dawn of Fear has been getting talked about a little bit, but Nerved is one that went a little bit under the radar, so wanted to do my part in making sure you guys know about it. Even if you're not picking up day one, hey, who knows, October might come around, you might want some interesting horror games, and these two might fall in line with exactly what you want. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, while I wouldn't say that tomorrow is the most stacked day of new game releases, I would say that there are some interesting titles from Zombie Army 4 Dead War, Ash of God's Redemption, you've got the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, I think 7th Sector looks like a really cool game, 0000 Plus, that could be a rather interesting, challenging action platformer, and you've got two horror games rounding the lineup up. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.